All right, everybody, it's Mr. Strength again, and I'm going over the poster design project. This goes hand in hand with the billboard. Since posters can also be out of home type of advertising, I'm just combining them together. And don't worry, you're not coming up with a completely different design necessarily, but let's go over it and then we'll look more into the detail of it all, okay? All right, we're going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to look over here. So poster design for advertising. This is different than billboard, just namely because you tend to have slower foot traffic when it comes to posters. Think billboards on the side of highways, but posters, these are mostly like in malls. They're like on the side of the street. They're at bus stops where if you're walking, you can actually stop and look. So what is an advertising poster? So they're high visibility, okay, print or digital designs made to inform, persuade, or inspire. So maybe they're advertising, they're informing you that there's a new series coming out. Maybe they're persuading you to use, like in this case, Nescafe instead of, say, Folgers for coffee. Maybe they're trying to inspire you to do something good, help your community. Maybe it's, adopt a pet, things like that. Uses, they have them at different events, different causes will use them, services and brands, it just depends. We see them down in the MARTA stations and whatnot. Key features, a successful poster includes clarity. Got to be clear what's going on. Strong visuals, layout balance, and persuasive copy. So if we look at this Nestle's Nescafe piece, coffee is typically associated with the morning, hence the alarm clock. So it is a coffee mug put inside of a alarm clock. It's meant to be that morning Joe alarm, right? That morning wake up. So you can see how this poster is effective. It's very clean, very simple, very straightforward. Advertising posters are visual tools designed to capture attention and communicate key messages effectively. All right, so there are different types. There's indoor and outdoor posters. This mostly just means where do you find them specifically. So we're indoor, we have closer viewing distance. If you're in the mall, you might be able to just walk up to it, or even if you go, for example, like a movie poster, you can walk up to the movie poster at the movies and start reading the fine detail, fine print, production, the director, the actors, all that stuff. Which is because they have more time to read. So, this isn't where they're moving a million miles an hour. There is the opportunity for them to actually stop and read. It can include more detail and text. Just because people can stop, this doesn't apply with the 3-second rule. So it's a little different in that case. And it's used, schools, cafes, malls, transit stations, things like that. Now, outdoor posters, they do have to be read, easy to read from a distance. While you might hit pedestrians that was actually funny. You might hit pedestrians. You might be able to hit pedestrians with your message as they're walking around. If they're outside, it's probably at a street corner, or a median or something. And in that case, you are getting some actual like traffic. So we want to make sure that people in the vehicles can also just get at least an idea or at least get the message pretty quickly, right? So they have to be readable from a distance, limited time to capture attention. You're still looking at the 7 seconds or so. Even if they're crossing a crosswalk, they're only going to have so long to stand there before it changes and they got to walk across. So fewer words, stronger visuals, because the visual is going to be the first thing that they see, and that's going to draw their attention in. Then you can just get the message across real quick. And these are usually found on streets, like street corners, walkways. There's kiosks you'll see in some places that get heavy foot traffic that are generally outside, as well as bus stops. So we're going to talk about the key principles of design. So these are the principles that help create visually appealing compositions that communicate messages clearly and attract viewers' attention. So first is hierarchy, and we'll actually take out this really old Budweiser ad. And so with hierarchy, we see Budweiser first, so we know who is that's advertising. This calls for, that's actually going to be part of your slogan. And then the neighbors at the kitchen swapping ideas with good friends. This is your tag, your call to action, if you will. Where there's life, there's Bud. So hierarchy, again, the size of the fonts are going to help you flow through. Balance, we got this gentleman in a red shirt, so we have red above, and then we've got yellow below that kind of complements off of the tablecloth. but we have the contrasting colors. So the colors are balanced out. We have two gentlemen in the back, two gentlemen in the front. It's balanced out, right? He's on the fridge. There's some cabinets. Again, visually balanced. Typography, we just went over that. Easy to read. I think that this was probably a magazine ad, so that top text would be fine in that case. I might have chosen something a little different, but the contrast is great. We've got a good variety of colors. And in fact, you actually immediately go to the red shirt. Remember, red is the first color the brain recognizes. He's already got a glass of beer, and then his buddy's got two bottles behind him. These guys are in the back with neutral colors. Again, in the relaxing blue of his buddy's shirt, of the background wallpaper, that kind of stuff. There's your color, and then negative space. We do have some open space. There's the space here, the space with the cabinets, even like kind of just the space over here. There's still open negative space around. It allows your piece to breathe. It allows the viewer to breathe as they're looking at your stuff. Keep it simple, make it stick. So in advertising, simplicity is key. Remember, less is more. A successful poster conveys a powerful message with minimal text, ensuring the audience quickly understands the intention. So here we have Heinz. No one grows ketchup like Heinz. Well, Heinz is Heinz is the company that makes ketchup. Ketchup is made primarily with tomatoes, and tomatoes are grown. Guess what? It all works out, right? And if they say no one grows ketchup like Heinz, that probably means Heinz has farms where they actually mass produce tomatoes so that they have their own source to create the ketchup. And look at that. I just broke down this entire poster. It's very simple. So get the big idea. Focus on a single message. Here, they're trying to say that they actually grow their own stuff. That resonates with your audience. Use one big idea. Concise copy, short, impactful phrases to capture attention instantly. No one grows ketchup like Heinz. We got Heinz grows, which is the tomatoes, and ketchup, which is the product. And they're saying the competition, no one does it. Use 7 words or fewer in that line. That's 6. There you go. And then a clear call to action. Ensure your call to action is prominent and easy to follow. Only one call to action. The call to action is saying that because they actually grow their own tomatoes and no one else really does, go ahead and buy a Heinz instead. So very quick, very simple, very clean. Okay. Please don't use AI. Oh my God, to design your stuff. Like, don't use it to do your ads. This is not the Ninja Turtles, folks. Not certainly not my Ninja Turtles. But what it can do and what it won't do. Please be aware of that. AI is really just a tool. It's not going to do the actual work for you. And I promise, if you turn something in that's AI, I'm not going to accept it. Okay. The real world, you might use it for certain bits, but you're not going to use it to actually make everything. All right. So let's talk about your poster project that you're going to do. In this project, you will create an eye-catching poster to effectively communicate your chosen campaign's message and engage your audience. Focus on creativity and clarity to ensure your design stands out and resonates. Campaign selections, you're going to choose the campaign. Actually, you're going to choose the exact same campaign as your billboard. Okay. And that's the blood donations. So I want you to come up with 3 different sketches. Now you can take your idea, and that was the billboard, and adjust it so that maybe it fits in a poster. But I want you to come up with 2 other ideas. Okay. Don't just move some things around and be like, oh, it's a different layout. That's not the way that works. So I want 3 different sketch ideas. Okay. Make sure I get these. Okay. Sketching your ideas for your poster. In this stage, you'll brainstorm and sketch concepts to bring your vision to life. Use various techniques to generate ideas and explore different approaches before settling on a final design direction. Utilize methods such as mind mapping and free writing to generate ideas. So one thing that you can do is word association. Just start listing words that work with whatever it is you're looking for. So we have blood, we have Red Cross, we have donation, we have needles, we have tubes, we have saving lives. O, B, A positive, A, B, O negative. Go around and look at some of the stuff. Come up with different ideas. you can just do quick sketch ideas. You can go online and actually search up some examples and just inspiration. Just take something, modify it, make it your own idea. You could go into chat and give it some, or an AI, and ask it to give you, 10 different ideas to start with. But you still have to sketch them out and whatnot. Visual inspirations. You can collect images, colors, and styles that resonate with your campaign message. Focus on visual hierarchy and your call to action. This is aligns with the mood boards. A lot of people do actually want mood boards, and I think it's a good idea, especially if you're trying to figure something out. And then your initial sketches, they're just rough sketches, okay? You're trying to get an idea out, just see if things are going to work, all right? Poster design requirements and sizes. Okay, so every poster must include a clear headline, all right? Eye-catching image and a graphic, logo, or organizational name, and a call to action. Common poster size for this is actually going to be 24 by 36. So we're going to do this. It's going to be 24 inches wide. I'm going to write that in there for you guys because somebody's going to do it wrong. Inches tall. And then this is called portrait. So portrait is, where it's straight up and down. Posters can be created in both vertical and horizontal formats depending on the intended display space. That said, buses have a horizontal space, but they also have some vertical spaces. So when something is vertical, that is called portrait. Think of like portrait paintings. And when something's horizontal, it's a landscape, and it allows you to see like more of the space that's there. So that makes it the landscape. Creating effective posters involves understanding key elements and adhering to specific sizes. These guidelines ensure your designs are impactful, visually appealing, and suitable for their intended medium, whether printed or digital. So, essential poster design tips. Creating an effective poster demands attention to location, color, poster demands. Attention to local location, color, and visuals to engage viewers and convey the message clearly while ensuring optimal editing for a polished finish. So while you may not really need to worry about this too much, if you're doing a poster and your poster is mostly blue, but all the shops have like blue doors or blue eaves or whatever, you might not want to do blue. It might blend into the background. You don't want to use gray as a background because it'll probably blend into everything else behind it. So color does become an issue, and that's what they mean by location, color, and visuals. Bold colors utilize vibrant colors to attract attention and convey emotion. Bright colors attract attention and invoke emotion effectively. Use color for mood and contrast for legibility. Incorporate striking images that support your message and the theme. Strong visuals convey messages quickly and memorably. Let visuals do the heavy lifting. Images can be really impactful. Sometimes you could just have that image and you don't even have to worry about it. Whenever we do the PSA poster, the awareness poster in Vector, there's the example I show of the woman with the black eye, and then it's a man's hand coming up and doing the quiet sign. And it's a very, very strong visual. And that right there tells you everything about that poster. That's everything that they're trying to tell you is in just that photo. The only thing it doesn't tell you is the phone number that it has at the very bottom. And that's like an example of extremely powerful visuals. For the clear message, concise text ensures the key message is easily understood. Edit. Don't be afraid to cut or simplify text. Narrow it down. If you're like, oh crap, well, how do I do that? Throw your text into AI and say, this is for a poster advertisement and I need to keep it short and to the point. Can you help me out? And it really could actually help you with that. So your client, it's the same client that you do for your billboard. So we're doing Red Cross blood donation. You will have to change the layout to fit your poster. All right. But I also do need 2 other sketch ideas. So, sir, why am I doing 2 other sketches when I already did a billboard in 3 sketches? Because you did a billboard and I just gave you a freebie as one of your sketches here, which is the same layout or the same stuff that you used in your billboard. You're just relaying it out for a poster. So I want you to come up with 2 other ideas, okay? So you're going to create 3 different sketch ideas. And again, one of them can actually be the billboard material. Once we've discussed your sketches and you have a chosen design, you're going to create one that's 24 by 36. This is a portrait orientation. And then you're going to begin creating your digital file. You can use Illustrator, InDesign, but I'm going to tell you try not to use Canva, and I did that wrong. And don't use Photoshop. Okay. You can definitely use the free vector stuff. I got the links in there for you, or the names at least, and then use the PSD file to create a mock-up of the billboard. There is actually another mock-up in here. It says poster mock-up, and so you're going to do the same thing that you did with the billboard, where you're throwing it onto the back layer, and then you're doing the transform distort. Then you're going to turn in your final file and the mock-up, and then I need you to submit as well as a short artist statement, okay? And this is just you explaining, why this design works, why you went this route. And while I don't want it to be the exact same thing with that you put in for the billboard, because this is a different orientation, this is a different size. So let's talk about, what it is, what challenges you had to figure out, things like that, okay? And then from there, I think that's actually it. You are good to go. So that's going to be the billboard part of this assignment. Again, it's going to be pretty simple. You guys are going to do fantastic. I'm really stoked to see who all changes their designs and the way things look. Remember, you can come by come by the school if you need to get like a hand, or use the lab if you need any help and you're at home. We can go ahead and do a video chat. You can call, you can email. Email's best. Calling is the last resort. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing what you guys are going to do, and I'll see you all